Now, 29th is pretty ridiculous. I mean, the Vikings, just on their passing game alone, just based on that, the Vikings can be better than the 29th best team in the league.
Coller, let's talk a little bit about disrespect for the Vikings. Why don't we? Already 0-2, being disrespected. This is a bit of a strange question considering how this season has started, but let me add in the context a little bit later. The question is, are the Vikings being disrespected by the national media? Now, for the context, we all know power rankings are there to get people upset and they're there to overreact to everything. But looking at a list of power rankings from across several different websites, it seems like the national media thinks very differently about the Vikings 0-2 start and the Chargers 0-2 start. Averaging out the spots for each team in 6 recent power rankings, the Chargers are 17th and the Vikings 24th, with one of them, Sports Illustrated, putting the Chargers at 12th and the Vikings at 29th in the same power rankings. So that leads to the question, are they being disrespected? Are the Vikings being disrespected by the national media?
I don't think it's possible to be disrespected when you're 0-2. Now, 29th is pretty ridiculous because, I mean, look, I don't expect the power rankers to have all watched the games and so forth, but I'll just let you in on a little insight. They really had to fumble a lot in order for it to happen. I mean, the Vikings, just on their passing game alone, just on Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, just based on that, the Vikings can be better than the 29th best team in the league. But I also think that if you're talking about 24th, is it crazy to think with a defense that struggled as much against the run, against the Philadelphia Eagles, with an offense that struggled to run as much as they can? And I know fumbles are largely random, but strip sacks where somebody comes free and takes down Kirk Cousins, we've kind of seen that happen quite a bit over Kirk Cousins' time here with the offensive line issues. So I think it's fair to not be looking at them after an 0-2 start as any type of legitimate contender and saying you're going to have to prove it, especially after all the roster turnover this year, the talk of a competitive rebuild and so forth. And with the Chargers, and when you look at the way that they've lost their 2 games, very close games, they lost in overtime to Tennessee, and Miami might be the cream of the crop for the entire NFL, considering their offense, and then I think they have a strong defense as well. So I mean, yeah, okay, so you lost a very close game to one of the best teams in the league. I think that they're being a little more forgiving there, but also everything ties back into expectations. People picked the Chargers to be very good coming into the year. I don't think any power rankers had the Vikings very high, and part of that is I also think that some people are taking a bit of a victory lap because coming into the season, everyone said, well, they're not going to win those one-score games again. And so far, 0-2 in the one-score games. And I think that they believe regression is hitting this Vikings team hard. I think you're always 1 week away from everybody flip-flopping everything. I mean, if the Vikings this week win by 21 points by some miracle of the football gods where they actually win a game by more than one score, then everyone will say, what a win against the really talented Chargers team. And now the Vikings are the 12th best team or whatever. I mean, yeah, I've never really been one to pay too much attention to the power rankings, but I also don't believe in any universe, if you're 0-2, that it's possible to be disrespected. So if someone made them the worst team in the league, Bill Parcells would say, you are what your record is, which is the worst team in the league. So they're not. They're not. I think they have the potential to jump up in some of these rankings, but this game, it's weird to say. It feels like a playoff game. It feels like the season on the line because it's not even October yet, but it really does have that feeling.
That's been another Purple Insider Extra for Bring Me the Sports. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the Purple Insider Podcast wherever you get podcasts. Talk to you next time.